All right, we're good.
I call to order the February 25th meeting of the Student Government Association. We are live streaming and recorded. Please review your agendas while Jacob does roll call.
Nick Colombo.
Here.
Anderson Delaire.
Here.
Isabella Monez.
Here.
William Connor.
Here.
Travis McLaughlin.
Here.
Brenna Giuliani. Aviana Lee Salters. Will Honorado.
Here.
Jacob Trainer.
Here.
Cody Hoisington.
Here.
Sophia Rubincheck. Melissa Kosmeski.
Here.
Raymond Croto. Barney Garcia.
Here.
Ethan Mollinson.
Here.
Ali Sutherland.
Here.
Troyo Nosal. Angelina Casella.
Here.
Giancarlos Artiega. Marissa Montero.
Here.
SAC Representative. Christopher Lannon.
Here.
Irene Mahida.
Here.
Benny Rosas.
Here.
Dominic Zyko. Puru Sharma.
Here.
All right. Are there any corrections to the minutes from February 18th, 2025? Chris Lannon?
I was just reviewing the minutes last night. I had to go back and watch the live stream to check. But there was something in the minutes that said I mentioned that New Hall. I think it was someone else who mentioned that New Hall was being moved out of. I mean, the marketplace was being moved out of New Hall, and I don't think I asked that. I think my question was more for the dining service committee was more towards like just stating the work they've done. So I think that should be reflected.
Are there any objections to this correction? Seeing none. Amendment is approved. Are there any additional corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The minutes are approved.
And now for your president's report, Justin Waller.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see a full room again, and I hope you are all feeling better. Before I introduce our speaker, I'm just going to give a brief little notice, like the one I shared in my email for today's meeting. If you are considerably sick, please do not attend the meetings. This is a great way to prevent the spreading of the illness and getting others sick. Just let us know if you are going to miss the meeting. Our speaker tonight is the Executive Director of the Westfield State University Foundation and Institutional Advancement, Bill Hynes. He is here to discuss Givahu and other great things happening in institutional advancement. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Bill Hynes.
Thank you all so much for having me here. So as Justin was saying, I'm the Executive Director of Institutional Advancement. So institutional advancement kind of makes up two sides of the house. So that's alumni relations. All of you know Ryan Mearsman, counterpart on that side, and also fundraising. I'm also the Executive Director of the Westfield State University Foundation. So the foundation is where all the funds that we raise for the university, that's where it flows through and then comes back out to the university as well. So one of the great things that the foundation does, I'm not sure if you know, is that every year we give out scholarships. So I have these flyers over there on the desk. We are currently in the time now when you as a student can apply to those scholarships. There's over 100 that you can apply to that will sort of help you on your journey here. So just please take advantage of this. It's great to be able to have our students apply for these scholarships. We have usually somewhere in the neighborhood of about 300 students that we give awards to on an average basis. And so that's just, that award can be from $1,000 all the way up to $2,500. So it's something that you should take a look at the website, take a look at maybe your specific major that has a scholarship, but definitely do that. So I encourage you to do so. And then obviously Givahu is one of the ways that we actually raise money for those scholarships. So across our alumni, friends, family, everybody that's involved, we reach out on 2 days, March 26th and 27th, to encourage everybody to give back to that school on that day. So typically we have about 400 donors that are supporting the institution at that time, and about $100,000 that we raise on that day. And that can go to athletics, any department on campus, and those scholarships which I previously mentioned. And then, as some of you know as well, maybe on March 20th, as part of Give a Hoot, as outreach to that, we will be hosting a note card-a-thon. We've done it for the last couple of years to encourage folks to give to the Business Investment Lab, which now is up and running in Parenzo Hall. And this year, we're partnering with SGA on a fundraising effort to build an endowment for student government. So we're really excited to partner with you folks on this. It's really great to see students involved in this activity. Because one of the hardest jobs we have is going back out to alumni and asking them for a gift. But if you're participating in fundraising and knowing what philanthropy means to you or to the school, it makes it a lot easier for us to come back later down the line and ask somebody for a gift to support the institution. So I have a couple things over there, some flyers about the note card-a-thon, and our quarterly dashboard that we do for institutional advancement just shows you how we raise those funds, how much money we're raising, and where it goes to on campus. So I have them over there. Feel free to grab some. Again, just now's the time. If you would like to apply for a scholarship, this is it. I don't know if anybody has any questions, concerns, comments, rumors.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Bill? Chris Lannon?
Hi, Bill. Thank you for coming down. It's always a pleasure to have you down this time of year. I wanted to ask, you mentioned about 300 students who get scholarships every year. About how many students usually apply for those scholarships, and how can we as senators make it known to students that these offers are out there and what we can do in our role. Also, do you have an update from last year when we sent a letter to Taylor Swift offering her an honorary degree? Do you have an update on that?
I do not have an update on that. I don't know if it actually made it to Taylor Swift's management company or her address or whatever the case may be. I wish I did. She's obviously hasn't responded to us. So typically we have, like I said, over 300 students receive scholarships. We usually have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 450 students apply to those scholarships. It would be great, obviously, if we had more, because we do sometimes run into an issue where we have those scholarships available, but maybe somebody hasn't applied to them. And that gives us the opportunity to kind of have somebody apply for that particular scholarship. And we work closely with financial aid as well to see if somebody maybe hasn't applied for a scholarship, we can kind of work with them to find a way to do that. But the best way for you to kind of support this is you have the flyers, go on yourselves if you've never done this process before, get yourself logged on to the scholarship portal and see for yourself if there's any scholarships that you might be appropriate to receive.
Thank you.
Isabella Moniz?
Hi, thank you for coming down. I have a question about the scholarships. I was just wondering if there are scholarships available for students pursuing a master's degree here on the foundation website.
There's a couple. I know we have one for a master's of social work, but I would have to go back and kind of go back and look to see what we kind of have, because we do some that are one or two that are specifically for masters, but also some for continuing education students as well. So even if you're not enrolled full time, sometimes there's some funds that we can do to you for continuing ed as well. But I can follow up on that and send you an email, Justin.
Sarah Harrington?
Hello, thank you for coming down. I just have a comment. Dan and I both have the Student Senate Scholarship, which is really specifically for student government. So highly recommend applying to those and just applying to anything that applies to you. Also, if you're writing a lot of them require essays, save those essays and you can use them for next year, or you can use them for multiple scholarships. That's what I did. And I have a few, and it's really nice to have. So thank you for that.
Thank you for the plug.
Any further? Ali Sutherland?
Hi, thank you for coming down. I was just curious, does the scholarship pay to the school or does it pay to the student?
So basically it goes to the school, but it will show up on your bill as a foundation scholarship.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you, Bill.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill. It's wonderful to hear all the amazing things you guys are doing at institutional advancement. I myself had the, is it Alumni Association, Ryan, the scholarship?
Yes.
And that, thanks, Ryan.
Yes.
At the Sweet Success Banquet, I got to meet some amazing alums, sorry. And it's amazing to talk to them and see where they're at. I also met one at the State of the Campus that Bill introduced me to. And it's just amazing to hear about all that stuff and that scholarship led me to those conversations. So definitely apply for those. All right. I know a lot of you have probably seen the Restore Self-Defense papers with a QR code on them all around campus. I spoke with Shannon about that, and she asked me to share a little message. Don't worry about those. It's a group on campus, a registered student organization trying to impact change. That's it. It's nothing crazy. And any questions you have about that, I don't think I can answer them, but you can always ask Maggie and Shannon, the professionals, if you have any on that. And then finally, oh no, this is not finally. Sorry, I added more to my report. It's come to our attention that we have some senators who are accruing a lot of absences. Just so you all know, absences are based on missing an entire meeting, not doing your office hours, not going to committee meetings, or the half absences of missing either of the roll calls and meetings. We are not in the business of kicking everybody out. We really don't want to do that because you guys have all done amazing work this year, and we appreciate it immensely. So if Jacob sends you an email regarding attendance, please make sure to read the email and respond to him. He's probably the nicest person that goes to this university, so it's not going to be a scary meeting or a scary talk that he's going to have with you. So please definitely respond to those and monitor your emails because that's very important to the positions you are all in. And finally, we have an accepted students day this Saturday, and those are always amazing. Jacob and Austin will be attending, but we are really hoping to have at least one or two senators there. I know one of the events they had last semester, I know Benny was there for CAB, but he also helped with SGA stuff, and I appreciate that. So it's very fun. Don't you that look. It's a very good opportunity. You get to talk to a lot of people, and it's really fun to just see prospective students coming in and talk to them about SGA and all the amazing things that you guys do. So if you're available and interested, let us know, and you can hang out with Austin and Jacob for a couple hours, and that's it.
Thank you, Justin. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Justin Wald? I saw Jacob Constantine first and foremost.
Hey guys, so for the attendance, there are currently around 8 people out of all of you that can be removed for attendance. I have not yet sent an email because I don't want to remove people based off of not missing or not doing your office hours. So just do them. And then log them on the form that I have QR codes all around the room. And if you don't have it, just ask me for it. I will send it to you. I don't want to remove people based off of not doing your office hours because, let's face it, you shouldn't be removed from that.
And just a little information, hall reps can do their office hours in their hall. You just have to talk to us about it. And we also, we usually have stuff going on that you can do. Like the state of the campus was one of them that Angelina and Ali went to. And that counts as an office hour. We have a lot of opportunities for you guys to do that, so you don't just have to sit around and feel like you're not doing as much as you could be.
Thank you, Justin and Jacob. Angelina Casella?
I was just wondering, what do we do on Accepted Students Day if we were to attend?
Well, we usually have a table with some fun little pictures. Usually we have the giant gavel there, which is always fun. Sometimes we have to substitute my tiny one that I give to Matt. But you get a lot of prospective students and they go around. There's a lot of clubs, a lot of organizations, departments on campus. Reslate is there. So we get to see John at a lot of those. It's very fun to just talk to them. You get to be like, hey, this is what SGA does. This is what we're planning on doing. It's a really fun thing to be involved in. And you can even tell us about the stuff you guys do, like the voter registration drive, all the events the class councils are doing, a lot of the fun stuff, and just talk to them and see if you can convince them to come here or even join SGA.
Thank you, Angelina. Christopher Lamb?
Hi, I just wanted to bring a matter to your attention. I've walked by the SGA room various times over the past couple of weeks at night, and I've noticed the SGA doors have been open. I know we have a lot of important documents in here in our binders, and those binders over there that have minutes dating back to I don't even know when. So I think it's important. I know it was a thing we did last year where SGA doors were always closed, whoever was last out. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Also, the Accepted Students Day, that was how I got my start on SGA, so I would love for you guys to maybe share some inspiration with with fellow prospective students. That's how I got the knowledge about it.
As a point of information, Chris, to that, if I remember right, this is a student space designed for students to come and go as they need. Some students are non-traditional, as we're all aware, and might need the space just to study, do homework. I myself have come down here during breaks to help clean up items, and all of our minutes are public. And the documents, if you have any sensitive documents, I would recommend not leaving them in here. That's just going to be my personal suggestion to you, but there's my point of information. Angelina Casella?
The point of information is there's also like the cab offices in here, so like it's not just like us that utilizes this space. Very often I know that cab office hours, they usually do it almost every day of the week. So like a lot of times they utilize the space, the computer, sometimes they come in at night just to make plans for cabs. So that's just another way of it. It should still work.
Ollie Sullivan?
I know you just said it's this Saturday, but what time?
11:45 to 2:15, I believe.
11:45 to 2:15.
Are there any additional questions? Sarah Harrington?
I have a question for Jacob Constant in regard to this. Is this gonna be an office hour?
Yes, it will.
Wonderful. Love it. Are there any additional questions, comments, or concerns for Justin Wall? Seeing none, thank you, Justin.
All right, All University Committee, Travis McLaughlin. It's been a while. Howdy. AUC met last Friday and actually ran for the full amount of time. I know, crazy. We unanimously referred 13 items to UCC and recommended 9 more for approval to UCC. We also unanimously referred the Commonwealth Honors Program graduation requirement to APC. And while we did unanimously pass 2 items that we referred to UCC, it sparked a pretty big conversation on foreign level classes. The The Commonwealth Honors Project Semester 1 and 2 were brought to us by Zach Taylor, the Honors Chair. And they're 400 level classes, which we do not have a lot of, unlike every other school on the planet. So AUC as a whole kind of decided we're going to make a resolution to send to faculty about turning 300 level classes to 400 level classes. So we did that, and we emailed it. Thank you.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Travis?
Excuse me?
Justin Wall?
Hi, Travis. Thanks for
Hi, Justin.
the morning. Appreciate it. It's not common to get AUC information.
Correct.
What kind of conversations were sparked about the 400 level classes? I'm kind of curious.
Well, we as students, it doesn't help us that there's no 400 level classes. If a graduate school looks at 2 transcripts, one from ours and one from somewhere else, they're going to see a lot more 400 level classes on their transcripts instead of ours. And that doesn't look good. It makes us look lazy. And, not very rigorous, which is not helping us at all. So this helped us.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you, Travis.
Surely.
Board of Trustees report, Daniel Courier.
Thank you, everybody. Board of Trustees met last Thursday, February 20th, across the hall in the Owl's Nest. A number of motions were voted upon and items discussed, but here are a few highlights I'd like to share with you from this meeting. The board approves 3 new graduate programs, some of which were voted on previously by the board, but now require fresh votes based on updated financial figures. These programs include a Master of Arts in History, Master of Science in Psychiatric Nurse Practitioner Studies, and a Master of Science in Athletic Training. The board heard an update from Leslie Rice, Executive Director of Communication, Marketing, and Branding regarding the university's rebrand. You all should, if all the materials are online, if you'd like to see the new logos, all logo options, which will replace the simple Westfield State logo to attend when it is announced. We'll replace the simple Westfield State logo that you know of today. The athletics logo and seal will not be changed for now. A campus unveiling will be occurring soon. I encourage each of you to attend when that is announced. The university met its spring 25 goal of 75 transfer students and exceeded its spring 25 goal of 20 new first-year students with 26 new first-year students. We also have been promising trends developing for fall 25. with us being ahead of last year's impressive numbers by about 60%. But a number of these students have not yet filed the FAFSA, which is a challenge. Those in this room who have not yet filed their FAFSA for next year, please do so. You need to do that as soon as possible. The Strategic Enrollment Committee will be formed soon, and Dr. Hearn will be looking for student representatives, likely from SGA, so please keep that on your radar as well, and that will likely count as the committee. Jenica Spitz-Gaznolo, Director of Belonging, Inclusion, and Learning, provided the board with an update on her office's initiatives. Chair Salehi and others on the board reiterated the board's commitment to belonging and inclusion regardless of what happens at the federal level. The board reviewed the university's current finances. I, along with other members of the board, were and are concerned that the university will spend more than what is currently budgeted. With increasing expenses, our current working capital account has decreased substantially by nearly 50%. While timing issues have contributed to limited cash in our account, I'm concerned about unsustainable deficits in our operating budget. The board has approved the fiscal year 26 schedule of annual tuition and fees. As presented at our meeting 2 weeks ago, the fitness center fee will now be built into the general fee. Modest increases were made to the general fee and residential life with no increases in dining. I want to thank dining for their work in ensuring that costs remain low enough that we can avoid a fee increase for the next academic year. During the full board meeting, the board approved the university's strategic plan for the next 5 years. A full document will be published by the end of the academic year, and I encourage all members of the SGA, but particularly those who will be here next year, to review that document in full. This plan is for all of us, including students, and SGA has a role to play in fulfilling that strategic plan. I provided the board with an update on deferred maintenance advocacy, SGA's plan to fundraise for an endowed program, as you heard earlier, and more. Next Monday, I will be meeting with Vice President Phelps to discuss next steps in advocating for much-needed higher education capital investments, which could include a visit to Beacon Hill in April. I hope to provide you with an update next week. Should you have any questions, please let me know.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Dan? Ali Sutherland?
Hey, the statement that's coming out in regards to next year, where do we be able to find that?
So it will likely be emailed to all of you. However, there was an email today from the president's office with the 4 goals that were approved by the board. So you definitely have reference to that. Also in our board meeting materials, which are now public and on the board meeting materials webpage, you can look at under the full board meeting, scroll down through all the pages. There will be a few pages dedicated to the strategic plan, including the goals and objectives. And all we're really doing now is just polishing up everything to make it look like a nice cohesive document.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you, Dan. Student Advisory Council, Daniel Courier.
The Student Advisory Council of the Board of Higher Education will be meeting this Thursday, February 27th from 4:30 to 6:30 on Zoom. As many of you know, the Student Advisory Council is comprised of all SGA presidents and student trustees from across the Commonwealth. This meeting comes as higher education faces an onslaught of challenges from Washington. I believe that this will be the most important discussion on our agenda. I encourage all of you to read the statement that was recently published by the State University Council of Presidents and sent to you all last week from the President's office. The letter signed by all state university presidents, including Dr. Thompson, who is the chair of the State University Council of Presidents, reaffirms the commitment on the part of all public institutions of higher education in the state toward belonging and inclusion and equal access to education. All state university presidents, including Dr. Thompson, remain in regular contact with the Massachusetts Department of Education and will respond accordingly to any action that adversely affects our student body. Should you have any questions, please let me know.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Dan? Seeing none, thank you, Dan.
And now for your Vice President of Student Life Report, Justin Wall.
All right, we're back. I did have a part in my report that said, I know you're all going to be sick of me by the end of the meeting tonight, but I gave Sarah the third report I was going to have to do. So I saved you guys. Please don't laugh at my shirt. Yesterday, I met with the Director of Residential Life, Chris Willenbrock, about a plan for the Residential Life Committee. We will be having our first meeting this Friday at 1:40 in University Hall A and B. This meeting is to attract potential new committee members and SGA members as hall representatives, as well as to see what is on the forefront of the minds of the residential students here, so we can best support them as a committee. So if you're a hall rep, or you know any students that might be disgruntled or have any issues or suggestions, feel free to send them the flyer once it's out. I'll send it to teams so you can share it. So you can send it to them because this is an amazing opportunity. You'll have members of the committee or member and people from the residential life team. And you'll be able to talk about different issues, different things. The two that we will be focusing on for the majority of it, unless people have other suggestions, are Swank TV and housing selection, because it's almost that time. Everything related to this meeting should be finalized today or tomorrow, so we can start advertising and sharing the meeting. All right, now for the part where the shirt comes into play. The excitement is building, and we're off to a fantastic start. Currently, our Relay for Life team has raised $265 with 7 awesome members, and we're proudly sitting in 3rd place. And we're so close to catching up with the campus activities board. So this year we have a real shot at being number 1. And the best part, every dollar we raise goes directly to supporting the incredible work of the American Cancer Society. But let's talk about our current top fundraiser, none other than Dan Courier, our very own Mr. Westfield. Somebody might want to challenge him for that spot, I'm just saying. A massive thank you to everybody who has joined the team and donated so far. You're all making an incredible difference for people on this campus and off this campus. If you haven't joined us yet, there is still time. Relay for Life is not until March 22nd. Yeah. Awesome. It's an amazing opportunity to step away from the hustle and bustle, disconnect from technology, and simply walk, chat, and connect with others, or even meet some new ones. And we talk a lot about mental health, and what better way to clear your mind than by taking part in this event? Walking around in a circle, it may not seem like fun, but it really is amazing. You get away from your phone, you unplug, and you can enjoy great conversations. That's exactly what I did last year, and exactly what I plan on doing from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. on March 22nd. Trust me, you won't regret it. And as a plus, there are many fun sideline activities happening throughout the day as well. That's it.
Thank you, Justin. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Justin Wall, Daniel Courier?
Hi, Justin. So one thing that we discussed at exec yesterday, I think it might be good just to hear some thoughts from people in the room. We discussed the news that came out from the honors program about honors housing for next year, with going to Davis Hall. I would want to hear from some of the first years in the room if possible. Did that make or break your enrollment decision if you are living in honors housing? Now, for anyone that's been in here who has been in honors housing, would that affect your enrollment decision? Is my concern right now is that will negatively impact enrollment. So I just want to hear people's thoughts if they've lived in honors housing before.
Go to Westfield.
I spoke to the director personally, and she said that's just moving to Davis for just first years, like first years coming in. So, and she said it's still going to be in University Hall, just on the first floor for honors housing.
Are there any additional, Dominic Zyko?
As a point of information, your shirt looks awesome, Justin.
Thank you, Dominic. I appreciate that. I got it from Maggie today.
Anderson Miller?
I know I'm not a first year, I'm on the honors program, Dan, but to answer your question, I've talked to a few other students in the honors program that heard about this, and they said it was stupid and that they wouldn't, not that they wouldn't have come here, but they wouldn't have joined the honors program. So from what I've heard from students is that maybe admissions wouldn't go down, but the honors program would probably shrink because that's an incentive to join your first year. So.
Are there any additional questions, comments, or concerns? Angelina Casella?
I just wanted to clarify for the residential ed committee, is it going to be every Friday at 1:40?
This is just the first meeting, hopefully, because we only have a couple of hall reps currently. So it's just to maybe drum up support for the committee, get new members potentially.
Thank you. Jacob Constant?
Relay for Life is a fantastic event. Last year, I walked 8 miles and it was great. Definitely sign up on the SGA team. I'm on it, so definitely be there. And you get to see my very hyper walking. My hyper self walking.
Thanks, Jacob. Chris Berlin?
Can I just ask for some clarification? When you send out the flyer for the Res Life Committee, is that going to have all the vacant hall requisitions on it?
We can include that.
Okay.
Are there any additional questions, comments, or concerns? You got something? No, you made eye contact with me. Seeing none, thank you, Justin.
All right. Dining Services Committee, Jacob Constant.
Hey all, Dining Services didn't actually meet, but I have some information that I wanted to share with everybody. I am the student representative on the search committee for the manager of nutrition, and the candidate that we have selected to come for an interview for a second interview on campus will be on campus tomorrow doing a showing in the DC from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I suggest everybody stop by and go and see what she has to offer. That's all.
All right, are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Jacob? Seeing none, thank you, Jacob. University Curriculum Committee, Jacob Constant.
Hey again. The University Curriculum Committee met last Friday, but started late due to not meeting quorum, so we didn't meet the entire time. EGST 102 was approved with the addition of WISE inclusion. The Bachelor of Fine Arts and Graphic Design proposal was discussed, aiming to add more elective courses to the degree, as currently it only has 2 electives required. All of the music courses that were planned on the agenda were tabled to ensure the correct WISE form would be submitted, and it would be brought up at next week's meeting. Education 354 was approved with a credit change and the removal of Education 321 and Education 341 as prerequisites, and then Education 319, Methods of Teaching and Learning 1, Mathematics, was approved with the removal of Education 320 as a core requisite. Addition of a requirement that students must earn a minimum grade of B in each course to advance to methods, and the methods sequence, and the inclusion of a field experience would be in the course description. And then Education 378 was approved with prerequisites to Education 319 or Education 354 or permission of the instructor. And Education 4XXX, dyslexia, foundation knowledge, assessment, and instruction was approved with a prerequisite in Education 303 or by instructor permission, and that was set. The reason why we decided to make it be a 4 is because all of the education prefixes in 3 are taken. And then Movement 100 was approved with a name change as well as the addition of FYJ 100 and English 101 FYJ 101 and English 101 as prerequisites. And then finally, Movement 325 was approved with WISE inclusion, a name change, and the removal of prerequisites for core inclusion. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Jacob? Seeing none, thank you, Jacob. Chris Landon.
Sorry, that was last minute. I just wanted to ask, I know we talked, I think 2 weeks ago now about education, there being an education minor. I was wondering if that would include an education concentration, people who are liberal studies majors.
I'm not sure about that, sorry.
Any further? Ethan Hynes.
Just as a point of information, UCC is working from October, November from this point, for recommendations.
Yes.
So there's still a little bit back.
Okay.
So they're trying to catch up as fast as they can.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you, Jacob.
You're welcome.
Right. Vice President's report on student equity, Sarah Arrington.
Hi, everyone. Obviously, I'm not Lorraine, so when I say I'm it's Lorraine. Okay. Good evening. I apologize for not being present today. I'm feeling under the weather and decided to take the afternoon off. I only have a couple of announcements for everyone, starting with the Advisory Committee for the Advancement of Equitable Representation, CARE for short. I'm still in the process of recruitment and would love to have 3 more senators. Last week, I sent an email with the information needed and a link to a form for signups as well. If you are interested or know someone from any of the organizations mentioned, please reach out to me through email or Teams app. The expectation is to meet either this week or next week. If you got an email from me recently, please try to respond as soon as possible, as I'm asking for confirmation on what day and time works for everyone, as well as recruiting members for CARE. I'm also working on a project for Women's History Month next month. I will hopefully be collaborating with the Office of Belonging, Inclusion, and Learning and SGA to make sure this project succeeds. I'm still in the process of working on the details and logistics, but I'd love the support of my fellow peers. As well as always, any questions or anything you'd like to talk to me about, I'm always here for you. I wish you all a great rest of the week, and I'm excited to start working with all of you soon. Thank you.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Sarah?
Justin Walden?
There is a paper, I think it's back next to Ethan, that is the sign-up thing for a care if you are interested, or you can just reach out to Lorraine at bdequity.sga.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you, Sarah. Constitution Review Committee, Ethan Haynes.
So this is gonna be super short and super sweet. Spring Carpenter. Con review is just about done. We have maybe 1 or 2 more meetings max. Thank you, Liam. I know I said this in a previous report, I think sometime last semester. The committee's been an absolute dream to work with. We are on time, if not ahead of schedule. So expect that in the coming weeks, and I hope we can get this done as fast as possible for you all. I'll make sure everyone that needs a copy gets a copy. Got you, Maggie. That's all.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Ethan? Seeing none, thank you, Ethan. Rules and Regulations Committee, Ethan Haynes.
Hey. Normally I put something like this in an announcement, but I want to make sure that this is part of the SGA minutes, so make sure to note this down in the minutes, Jacob. Keep your listening ears on, cut down the ears. After a conversation with Matt, this report serves as notice that starting March 3rd at 11:59 p.m., the Rules and Regulations Committee will not accept any new RSO club constitutions. This is to ensure the committee can work out final details for the remaining of the semester and to ensure that that new clubs will not be inactive coming next semester and that current clubs are on track with current constitutional review procedures. Should you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Ethan? Seeing none, thank you, Ethan.
Slay. Speaking of the committee, we will be meeting tomorrow from 4 to 5 at the Bonacos Conference Room, and then again from 1:40 to 2:15 this Friday at a to-be-determined location.
Senior class, Nick Malone.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. So to start, our 50 Days Toast is about 4 weeks away at the Westfield River Brewing Company. That's Thursday, March 27th, for those trying to count the weeks. Second, at the discretion of our class council, we decided, after observing the lack of multi-day senior weeks in the last previous years, and a long, thoughtful process, that we needed to adapt to the times and our current students' best interests. So we decided to change what we originally told everyone here about senior week. So to start, we are planning to have 2 free events. The first one being an off-campus event, such as we're looking to make it a trip to Mohegan, kind of similar to that Mohegan Day we had in our last senior weekend proposal. And then the second is a on-campus event, kind of similar to our Welcome Back barbecue, looking at being Friday, May 2nd, probably like 6 to 8:30. So we're hoping that this is able to kind of allow for students to get re-engaged in senior activities and us to kind of create a more attainable, long-standing tradition for seniors after just the lack of being able to have a senior send-off, senior weekend type thing over the last couple of years. Yeah, so that's all I got.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Nick Colombo? Daniel Courier.
Hi, Nick. So first of all, I want to give kudos to the class council for all they've done with trying to plan senior week. I know it's been tough. Was it truly at your discretion that you decided to opt out of senior week?
What do you mean?
Were you told you can't do it anymore, or was it all of your decision?
We weren't told that we couldn't do it. We decided today, after just everything, like we would have started selling tickets nowish, and so we decided and needed to reach 150 people minimum, or we would have had to reach that goal. So we felt as though it's better to be proactive and kind of make something that's attainable and just as kind of make it free, because I mean, nobody likes to pay money for things, so why not make it free and kind of, that way everyone's also included too. It's not like a financial type thing.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you. Sarah.
Okay. Can I have more insight on why tickets, like why tickets selling wasn't like open last? Because I feel like that was a thing that we had a conversation with Katie last year about having tickets selling the first semester so that people could buy them during excuse me, during Christmas break or for Christmas. So why didn't, can I just have information on why that didn't happen?
So, like for example, things that we had planned or thought of wanting to do was like the things like Musqueam or different things like that, which are seasonal type things. So like Block Island also, like that's closed. Like berries aren't running right now, like as much as they do in the spring. So kind of just being able to get costs and everything early enough to kind of send for approval and stuff like that was kind of a hard task to do when you aren't getting costs and stuff like that sent to you because they're not open. And just, we just feel like it's better to make it open to everybody and kind of be, proactive, like I said.
Awesome, Morgan.
Will you still offer some sort of cap and gown photo? Or like, is there a possibility of that?
So yeah, we planned like for our on-campus event to still do like a lot of the senior week stuff we talked about is going to be incorporated into these events, but they're now free to everybody. So yeah, we'll still do like professional cap and gown photos, like the cap decorate, like a lot of the staples that have been going on are still gonna be a thing. It's just the senior week being post when everyone's not graduate, but the week before graduation, people aren't living here is kind of not, it's gonna be while people are still living on campus, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
That's the best way to make people go, like it's, everyone's here. It's more convenient.
Chris Lannon.
I just want to say thank you for what you've done over the last 3 years as class president. It's not an easy task, I'm sure, putting on senior week, and I'm sure we'll find out next year. But I think everything you've done deserves a massive thank you. And could you maybe give an advice to the rest of the class councils in the room, what we can do to maybe learn from this and have our own senior week? Because there hasn't been one since 2012. And so we really want to bring it back. And I know you tried. And I just want to thank you for everything you've done. But if you could give any advice, what would you give?
Point of correction, start planning it now.
Yeah.
Any further? Daniel Courier.
And also just one final point of information. So I discussed this at exec last night. There's a lot of changes that need to be made. We need a handbook for this because people are being thrown to the wolves for this. Not everyone has enough information. So I am pleading, because I won't be here in a few months, that we have a handbook on this. That all class councils get trained on this. That every other class council that's sophomore, junior, first year, fundraise. Don't twiddle your thumbs. Fundraise, fundraise, fundraise. Please, please, please.
Sarah Harrington.
Also prioritize, like this is the only thing that if you don't need to do 150, if you need the time, spend it on that instead of 50 days and 100 days, focus on that and make sure that the people who are supporting you, who aren't on your class council, who need to do the big stuff for you, are also prioritizing it.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you, Nick. Sophomore class, Brenda Julian.
Hi everyone. So as we all know, March is Women's History Month. So as part of our celebration, we are excited to host a 2-day event aimed at empowering and inspiring all students. Our goal is to honor the women who have made significant contributions to our community and encourage others to get involved and be empowered. So our first event is a HIIT fitness class on March 6th from 7 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. And this will be open to all students, commuters, as long as they sign a waiver, so you don't have to, if you didn't pay the fitness fee, you can still go. And that is like gonna be, we're hoping like women's focused, so we're gonna have like some fun music and just a way to support women's health and wellness. And then our second event is March 7th, so next Friday, 11 to 12 p.m. in the Owl's Nest. This is a panel and it will feature several influential women from the Westfield State community who will share their stories and perspectives on empowerment and leadership. It's a wonderful opportunity to hear from women who have made an impact in different fields and learn how leadership can inspire change. We'll also be having pastries at this event. So we encourage everyone to come out and celebrate Women's History Month with us, and we hope to see everyone there. And then just for the future, we are planning a blood drive for April and a Westfield State towel fundraiser for Moonbook.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns for Brenna? Ali Sutherland.
For the leaders panel that's happening March 7th, are you gonna be able to live stream it for folks that can't be there? Like, I for one have training that day, so I'm not gonna be able to come, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can ask if we can do that, see what we can do.
Anderson Delaire.
I was not gonna lie, you said March 7th and my brain got distracted. What time is it out on March 7th?
It's 11 to 12.
AM?
Yes.
Alright, cool. That's when we go. No, not the HIT class, the leaders panel. No, you just made me. Alright, that was the day we go in for spring break, so I just want to make sure.
And just so everyone knows, the HIT class, it shouldn't be like too hard, so if anyone's like nervous about it.
Any further? Seeing none, thank you, Brenna. Right. Is there any unfinished business? Seeing none. New business? Seeing none. Announcements? Sarah Harrington?
If you're feeling hungry, go to a pot table and show them the Kappa flyer posted on 3200 Kappa to donate to the Education Audio Society.
Dan Kirk.
After the SGA meeting next Tuesday, I'm doing a fundraiser over at the Maple Leaf. So please feel free to bring your friends as well. You can have a drink if you want. 10% of all proceeds go to the Accounting Finance Club.
Chris Lannon.
I just wanted to give a couple shameless plugs to Owl Ball Committee. We only have 3 people on it right now. And I know me and Liz, Arini, and Angela too probably really want to see some more people on the committee. Also, parking control we have a meeting coming up. We have 3 open seats, maybe. I think at least 3. So if you want to join and make a difference about parking, join parking.
Benny Rosas.
Music Therapy Club is having a fundraiser out in front of somewhere in Ely. I don't know on that. But it's baked goods and craft goods. Come support.
Any further announcements? Ali Sutherland.
Tomorrow is the Alzheimer's, probably say that wrong, I apologize, Alzheimer's Association. They're coming to give like a presentation. It's gonna be in the Owl's Nest at 4 p.m. to 5:30. It's free, so if you're in the medical field or planning to go to the medical field or have someone in your family, it could be something of interest. We'd love to see you there. I believe either the Gerontology Club is putting it on or Health Sciences.
Justin Wald. Now I just want to make a little point. Thank you, Bill, for staying for the whole meeting. I think you're the first guy.
You're always you as our guest speakers. You're always here. Our guest speakers usually just skedaddle out the room right as the president goes back out. That's right.
Any further announcements? Nicholas Colombo.
80 days.
Roll call.
Nicholas Palumbo.
Here.
Anderson Delaire.
Here.
Isabella Moniz.
Here.
William Connor.
Here.
Travis McLaughlin.
Here.
Brenda Giuliani. Aviano Lee Salters. Will Honorado.
Here.
Jacob Trainer.
Here.
Cody Hoisington.
Here.
Sophia Rubencheck. Melissa Kuzmeski. Raymond Croto. Barney Garcia.
Here.
Ethan Mollinson.
Here.
Ali Sutherland.
Here.
Troy Nosel. Angelina Casella.
Here.
Giancarlo Artiega. Marissa Montero. SAC Representative. Christopher Lannon.
Here.
Irina Mahida.
Here.
Akila, no. Benny Rosas.
Here.
Dominic Zyko.
Here.
Haru Sharma.
If there's no additional business, I call to adjourn the February 25th meeting until March 4th.
That I know I'm saying.
It was probably, don't put
I had a couple
these.
of
That was-
and that was one.